So it's Sunday, and that means it's time for Sunday stitch. And this Sunday I'm obsessed with granny squares, so that's what I'm doing. This is a very simple and basic granny square with no tricks to it. But granny squares can be a little intimidating because most of the time a pattern or a chart for a granny square is written with the assumption that you know how to make a granny square. So what do you do if you don't know how to make a granny square and you've never done it? Okay, that's why I'm going to start a new one from the beginning with these two colors. But before I do that, I wanted to work on this one, which is on its fourth round, because I think once they get started, it's a lot easier to understand that granny squares are very structural. And what's happening on the row below, the row you're working on, what's happening on from the row before, is what cues you in what you do as you make the next, I shouldn't say row, I should say round, because they are rounds. This is, little multicolored gray is the first round, the medium blue would be the second, pink is the third, and I'm on the fourth round. Now, whether you are working across the side tells you one thing to do, and when you are working in a corner, it tells you the second set of things to do. This is the side. So this is where I'm getting started. When you're working a side and you've got this 1, 2, 3 cluster of double crochets, on the next round you chain 2. Think of it as chain 2 to get across it, which gets you to the chain 2 space from the round below. And in every one of these chain 2 side spaces, you're going to want to put 3 double crochets. Two and 3, like that. Now, to get across the next grouping of 3 double crochets, we need to chain 2, which puts us at the next chain 2 space, and here we put, 3 double crochets. Now, to get across this next grouping of 3 double crochets, we have to chain 2, and that puts us in the next chain 2 space, but notice that it's a corner. And in every previous corner, you make a new corner. The way you make a new corner is you put in 3 double crochets. Oh yeah, it's all double crochets and chains. 2, 3. We're making a corner. We chain 2, but we don't move on yet. We put a second set of 3 double crochets in the same space right here. And 3. Okay. So notice how all the corners are made just like that, with a 3 double crochets, a chain 2 space, and 3 double crochets all into the same corner. And then across the side, again, you put in 3 double crochets in every chain 2 space, and put in new chain 2s to get yourself across the old cluster of 3 double crochets. This is the fourth round, and the fourth round is where it starts to get easy. Where it can be a little tricky is getting yourself started, starting from nothing. Since the granny squares are all about building structure on top of structure, how do you get started from the beginning?